Hello, and welcome to What Worked Education. My name is Dr. Wayne Harrison, and I'm co-founder, and this is a short introduction course for the EdTech Standards of Evidence for businesses. Why is it important to test the effectiveness of EdTech products? I thought I would use technology to try and answer this question. So this is the response I got from OpenAI. Testing the effectiveness of EdTech products is important because it helps to determine whether or not the technology is actually improving student learning outcomes. Without testing, it would be difficult to know if the technology is having a positive impact or if it is a waste of resources. Additionally, testing can provide valuable feedback to the developers of the technology, which can be used to make improvements and ensure that the product is meeting the needs of educators and students. And as a reason and definition, I thought that was pretty good. But why do we need to develop a global standards of evidence for EdTech? Well, within education, there's a global movement towards evidence. If you look over in the United States, the Every Student Succeeds Act has evidence tiers, which are designed to ensure that states, districts, and schools can identify programs, practices, products, and policies that work across various populations. In the United Kingdom, over 70% of UK school leaders use the Education Endowment Foundation Teaching and Learning Toolkit to inform their spending decisions for pupil premium. Also, within the new ITT teacher training framework from the DfE, this is underpinned by evidence. So there is a movement within the UK for moving towards evidence-based practice. And over in Australia, the Australian Education Research Organisation, AERO, has launched over the last couple of years. And this also includes a standards of evidence to help assess the effectiveness of programs and interventions that are used in schools. And if we look at the research evidence base that underpins EdTech from the academic point of view, and this is just one of many examples that I could show, which is technology always helpful? A critical review of the impact on learning outcomes of student technology and support and formative assessment in schools. If you pause the video, you can have a quick look, but it basically says that there's very little robust evidence there on the impact of EdTech, and this is across a number of areas in EdTech. If you haven't had a chance to look at this, this is the Education Endowment Foundation using digital technology to improve learning. And it's a great report which you can download for free. And one of the things that I like about it is the Education Endowment Foundation used robust educational studies to evaluate the impact of interventions. And over the years, they've targeted EdTech as well as non-EdTech products. And they've given a summary here of the impact that they found from the EdTech programs that they've evaluated. And you can see that most of the programs, great, have a positive impact, but you also have programs which have no impact, and also some programs which can have a negative impact on learning. So the key message to take away from here is that unless we test something, we don't know whether the technology has the potential to make a positive, no impact, or negative impact on student learning outcomes. And it's something we do need to find out. But there is often barriers for creating robust evidence of impact, particularly with EdTech. Time is one. If you look at robust evaluations like RCTs, these can take years to complete. Two, cost. The cost of setting up large RCTs, randomized controlled trials, costs a significant amount of money. And also the knowledge. Most EdTech companies don't have specialist evaluation teams. And if you're looking to partner with these, it can cost significant funds for the EdTech company. And this just gives it an example of a recent study that was completed in 2021 by the Education Endowment Foundation, which summarizes most of these points. So this was to test the impact of a web-based program that encourages reading for pleasure and tracks progress. This was a study for Accelerated Reader, and you can see from here that it involved 200 schools. The grant for running the evaluation was nearly £900,000, and the duration of the trial took 5 years, 4 months for this effectiveness trial to publish the studies. So you can see there from just from that one example, it ticks across most of the barriers that sometimes edtech companies have on creating robust evidence. So what we're trying to do at What Worked is to break down the barriers. We use an innovative approach to building evidence from the bottom up using mini RCTs and multiple replications. So the data from each of the mini RCTs that we run then builds on top of the data from the others that are aggregating together to build an evidence base of what's actually working. This can be completed in a short period of time. So it could be over a half term looking at a very specific area of mathematics, and we can then aggregate the data from each of the schools that are taking part in the evaluation to build the evidence base from the bottom up rather than from a large scale study. We offer tiered support. So we have a subscription service which we will be launching for startups, for scaling companies, and also for companies that are looking to build an evidence base quite quickly. So the learning outcomes for this course is to develop your knowledge in the key areas of research so that you can hopefully apply this to your business, to increase your ability to be critical with evidence, and to introduce a framework to help you assess the quality of evidence for EdTech products.